What's up everybody? Today we're uncrating the Monport 80 watt autofocus CO2 laser. They did send this over as a review sample, so I get to check it out. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But I'm gonna let you know. We're gonna have a couple videos in this series going over all this. Today we're uncrating, taking a look at it, getting some measurements, and kind of just initial first impressions. So let's get to uncrating this. Before we get to uncrating, let's talk about what is a review at DE Hammer. Monport did send this laser over free of charge, but they have no say in the video. They don't get to see it until you see it, and these are all my thoughts and opinions on the laser itself. So let's get to uncrating this. First, let's get some measurements of the crate. For height from floor to top, we're looking at 34 3/4 of an inch tall. Length, just under 63 inches for the wood, but we do have some screws, so it's maybe just a little bit more. Come out here, look, 63.5 with the screw head sticking out. And we're just over 40 inches this way. So we'll go ahead and call that 40 1/4. All right, I'm not even sure if I want to start on the top and getting these off, or if I want to start on the side and getting these metal clips. I haven't watched any other unboxing or uncrating video on this. Let's YOLO it. Let's see what we can come up with. Of course, right as the last one, I was taking off the last one of these side pieces. I noticed there's screws along the bottom. Probably unscrew those and we lift the lid up. All right, let's get those off. All right, so yes, that's all you have to do. We did not need to take off these. So to get into the crate, all we needed to do was take the 4 screws off the front and the back and the 3 screws on the left and right side. I need some help getting this up and over. The person I have to help me would rather not be on film, and I get it. So through the magic of video editing, here is the Monport 80 watt autofocus laser. And here we go. Here's the CO2 laser. So this is after we get the lid off. So we got some saran wrap, some styrofoam for the corners here. Of course, it's in backwards. Wish this was turned around, but that's okay. No, I did not need to take off those side clamps on the crate, but hey, you live, you learn. Let's get this off and kind of see where we're at next. I would think we need to get this off of the crate, so we'll do some more video magic here in a minute, but let's get this off. Let's take a few measurements before we take it off the crate here. So, width-wise, from the outside there to over here, we're looking at 59 1/16. But then, of course, we have some of these. We have some screws on the edge. So, let's say it's 59 1/4 in width. Now, from front to back, looking at 36, but then we can see here, we have these keys. So let's call that, if you're trying to get this through a door, 36.5 inches. So if you got 36.5 inches, you should be good, but you can't see it yet, but here, no, you can't see it still, but there is a door handle here. Door hand here. Ugh. Wish I could speak sometimes. I'm going to say you're going to want 37 inches to get it through a doorway if you're going to have to go through. Otherwise, from top to bottom, including the E-stop, so you look here about 28.5 inches. So again, having to go through the side, I'd say 28 3/4 to be safe. Now, the key here 28, yeah, 28 and a half is just going to get it through. So this is going to be your highest point here. It's just under the 1/2 inch mark. Now, before we do any video editing magic of this thing off the pallet, you can see here we got screws holding in the leveling feet. So we'll need to get those off, and we'll go through and get what's in the front cabinet unpacked and what comes with the laser, and get our keys and kind of start getting this ready. Had to go get a stool because if you can see, this one is a lot lower than my OMTech. And that's because it doesn't have the riser stand underneath it, which could be a little bit of a problem for me. So we got our front here, our handle, and this is the fun part where I should have probably read. But again, we're going to YOLO, and I'm going to make the mistakes so you don't have to. Just like with the OMTech, we got our box here for water cooling, and we will not be using this. We did get a chiller from Monport, and we'll do another video unboxing and getting that set up to this. We got a red string here, so I'm pretty sure we're going to need to take that off. I said string, it's a ribbon. Let's get some scissors. That is on there tight. There's no way I'm going to be able to untie that. So gonna have to get these scissors in there and get at the knot. Didn't cut it too far out. There we go. Got that off. Hopefully that was holding this plate. Yep. So we can just gently pull this towards us. All right, let's open up this front panel. I need to lower the bed. Let's see. The bed is taped on there. So I was first thinking, I got to turn this. But then thankfully, the grease prevented me from just putting my hands there and getting all greasy. And we can see the honeycomb bed is taped on. So let's see if we can get that tape off. Let's see here. Okay, now I can squeeze that out. Here, let's just take that out. Got our honeycomb bed and then a knife plate head. That's really nice, so you can switch and use whichever one you want. Let's set this over to the side. Now we can get our blue bucket out. If you're going to be going with a 60 or 80, I would recommend using the chiller as opposed to this on these higher wattage lasers, just for the simple fact of peace of mind knowing that you are cooling them down enough. Let's look into this. You got to love how saran wrap sounds on microphones. Just got to love it. So I don't know where my trash can went, but let's pretend I made it. Yeah, sunk it. All right, we have a hose connector. This will vent out the fumes to our outside. Recommend, do not use these. Go get this one I'm showing on screen right now. Love it. Hose O-ring adapter. Always nice just to have a couple of those. We got some tubing. We'll see if this works or if we'll need to go get different tubing. AC 120 volt, 60 hertz. So we have the pump. I don't know. Maybe use it for a different project. Like I said I was going to on the OMTech. I don't know what for, but if you have any cool ideas for a pump and a project, let me know. Grounding wire and bag of goodies. Let's open this up. Our key should be in here. Ooh, that's nice. Full set of Allen wrenches. Hey, safety glasses. Silicone elastometer sealant. Okay. Power cord. Okay, got USB cable, and we have a USB cord with a USB stick. we'll look at that once we get this up and going. We got some tape. Okay, got an Ethernet cord. Cabinet laser engraver user manual. I'm just joking. We'll read this before we fire this thing up. And Monport laser after sales service card. This will be a whole nother video in and of itself that we'll talk about customer support and everything, but I still got some research to do. So stick around for that video. One thing I did not see is the safety key in here. Maybe it's somewhere in here. Ah, key right there. Whew. About to be like, I'm gonna have to call him. Or I could just check and see if my own tech key worked. That goes in there. Let's take that off, put it over to the side. All right, now we need to take the back coverings off, our laser off the mirror heads. Don't want to just pull it off. All right, back. I should just leave the scissors over here. I don't know why I keep putting them. You know, it's one thing. It's like, work clean and, you know, put all your tools back where they go. But then it's like, you got to keep going and getting them. Make sure we are cutting just string. That's all we want to cut. Don't want to cut any of these wires. All right. And we got our keys. So we have the keys to the laser. And then we have our triangle key, and that will let us get into these different compartments. All right, we'll set the key there. And now we have another little protective bag that's over the other mirror. So we'll go ahead and get that off. And again, be careful. There we go. On my own tech, the autofocus had a pin that came out to the side. And we go down and press your material and then come up from there. And if you read any of the Facebook or blog posts, people hated it, especially if they weren't over their stock material and it crashed down into the bed and then just jacked it all up. The autofocus is built into the tube here. That's going to be pretty cool. We'll talk about that more later. I just wanted to point out that is a change from what I am used to. All right, now we need to get around to the back and take the cover off the back mirror. Oh. Certificate of laser equipment. Hey, got number, checker, and date. When I see these, I always think of that Futurama show where Bender is broken, doesn't have his automatic backup to the cloud, so he can't live forever with Hermes, and just makes me feel a little sentimental. So I'm going to keep this, put this somewhere. All right, like I said, we need to get to this back side. So we need to unlock this. And here is our 80-watt tube. Wow, that is a big tube compared to the 60-watt I have over there. Let's see if that will come off. No, we're going to have to snip. Oh, unlike the other ones, this one came off fairly easy. The other ones were tied. Now, I've seen people, should I take the tape off or not? I didn't take the tape off on mine over there. I'm going to do a little bit more research before I fire this up. Let's close this. We've already looked at the pass-through there. Let's look down here. Just get a look real quick and see what's going on. So our air assist is right there, and then our motor for our Z-axis. And looks to be pretty much about it. So we'll go ahead and close that up. I know I should have locked the wheels, but I knew I was going to be turning it around a lot. So, speaking of turning, let's get it turned around to this side. Here we have our exhaust fan. Now, I did get an external exhaust fan for my Ohm-Tech. Depending on whether or not I keep this is going to depend what I do here. But for right now, it stays. But I will be using my exhaust hose I have. Again, do not use that exhaust hose they send. Get a much better ones. We're back to the front. Feel like Vanna White. Or some kind of hostess. Or host. We got our Ruida controller here, on, off, our stop button, and it says control switch, but I would call that the power button right there. Okay, let's spin it around just one more time here. Yes, so this is our laser power. I want to say a converter or more power, more controls and dip switches. Here we have flash drive and then a USB to PC port. So flash drive is if we put our cut file on a USB stick, we put in that one. And then if we want to hook it up to our computer and use Lightburn to control it, we put it in the bottom one. And then we have Ethernet to PC, again, if we want to use the PC to control this. All right, I'm going to get up and let's put our finishing thoughts on this video. All right, we were going to put finishing thoughts on the video, but let's take one closer look here. Y'all are about to get a time lapse, and I'm going to need to remove this so we can get all this plastic off. Now, this might be easier with two people, this next part, but we can get it done. There we have it. We're all uncrated. What's next? Well, need to get the chiller set up and then make sure our mirrors are in alignment and then run a project. And let's see how it cuts. You know, just looking over this and the design of this versus the Ohm-Tech, I want to make a few quick comparisons. Let's clear one thing up. This is all personal preference right here. And I was a little worried about the color scheming. This gray beige kind of color with black versus the black red. I've always been a black and red guy. It's always been my favorite. So, but seeing this in person and everything, I really like the design choices of this one versus that one. The only design choice I don't like is it being so low. I mean, you can see I am squatting here. I also do prefer this lid type. If we look on the Ohm-Tech, it is a solid piece of bent acrylic that goes down. While that seems nice and everything, keeping that clean and trying to film through it, not so much. So if you're not filming through yours, maybe that's better. That also has a tint. This does not. So I do not believe my Ohm-Tech came with safety glasses. This did. And I know more seasoned people are going to be like, go get better ones. Don't worry, I will. Need to do my research on which type to get so we make sure we're blocking out the right level of light. I'm probably saying that wrong, but when I get those, I'll let you know which ones I got. But I do like this. I do. Again, except for the height part. I am just freakishly tall compared to that one. But I also like that you have the knife bed or the honeycomb bed, and you can pick which one you want to use. This does seem a little bit more solid, but we'll get more into that when we actually do apple to oranges comparison of the two machines. That's going to wrap it up for this video. I'm excited to dig in a little bit deeper with the Monport. Remember, this is the 80 watt autofocus. It's got the new autofocus tube. I don't know exactly what they're calling it. Again, I'm YOLOing this. I'm just kind of diving in and learn as I go. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to get notified of future videos, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, remember, keep making stuff.